In investing, it's not sufficient to just have the right macro call. It's almost equally important to have the right implementation. In today's video, I would like to focus on this particular step of the Ethna-AKTIV investment process. While the first step in this process, the asset allocation decision, the how much and where to invest, based on macroeconomic data, on absolute or relative valuation, and in some cases on technicals like momentum and volatility, the next step, the implementation, answers the question how to take exposure. Let me briefly explain how this works out in a real-life example. Against the backdrop of the pros and cons for positive future market performance you can see on the chart, we still consider the US equity market as attractive on a relative basis. However, in the current environment, these arguments and others led us to the conclusion that it needs to have a material catalyst to bring the market out of this trading range of plus to minus 10%. It might seem easy to add or remove exposure once a catalyst occurs, but the big question is, what is the appropriate exposure before that happens? Let me explain different possibilities to take exposure. One option, of course, is to do nothing. Just sit and wait for the catalyst. In the meantime, we neither gain nor lose anything. But that's not what you expect us to do, and there are better options available. A second alternative is to just buy equity futures. The payout profile, so the P&L depending on the market performance, would look like this. For every X% market movement, we would either gain or lose X% performance in a linear manner. To be honest, not a very appealing choice, especially if the chances of the market to increase or decrease are almost the same. At worst, and that's one of the biggest challenges in future trading, we are going to be stopped out by risk management at the lower bound of the range just to see how the market turns right afterwards, rise to new highs without us. To avoid that, we could go with a profile like this. It's asymmetric in nature. That means we would gain more in an upward move than we are going to lose in a downward move of similar magnitude. However, with the call option like this, the asymmetry comes with a price, and that makes them appear less attractive. But what if we could reduce the associated cost, the premium, by selling some optionality, some part of the money puts or calls outside of the aforementioned range, the most likely range, so that the payout profile at maturity would look like this. That looks attractive to me. That fits to our market view, and that will prevent us from being stopped out and miss anything. And therefore, that's exactly what we did in the Ethna-AKTIV. Decent size in the course of January, and of course with appropriate risk management. Don't get me wrong. Taking an equity exposure is not all about optionality, but there are times when it can help. We believe if used to complement futures, it's a prudent way to diversify tools and instruments, which makes perfect sense for us and for you.